All right. Cool. We're gaming tonight. And if you caught my stream earlier today, yes, I did do some art. But now it's time to game. Shit, I've been gaming all day. But yeah. Yeah. We are gaming tonight. And let's there we go. I got some great ones for you. Great ones for you tonight. Let's do this one. This is fucking awesome. Now, we're gonna go over, get this, fucking Nick Cannon trying to be hard. Nick Cannon, Mr. Drumline himself, is trying to be motherfucking hard. This is fucking awesome. I saw this video, I was like, Nick Cannon. Nick Drumline Cannon. Nick Underclassman Cannon. Nick America Got Talent Cannon. Nick, I went from looking from like a 16-year-old boy to a 47-year-old man in like 2 days. Cannon. Hell, what can I say? I'm about to be 37 in about 3 hours. But let's go.
Well, you and I have talked about Eminem on a number of occasions.
Too much. Do we have to?
We have to talk about this.
Because I think you might talk about Eminem more than I talk about him.
Possibly.
And I think you're the reason I always get in Eminem conversations.
Right. Well,
me, you, and Lord Jamar.
Lord Jamar. And we'll get to that.
So, like, this is a short video, but just check out the bluster on this man. Let's turn this shit down. Just check out the bluster on this man. Like, for real. Maybe he think he's Conan? I don't know.
First, they took your family and your riches. Then they took your health and your pride.
There we go. That's the one thing I forgot to set up. You know, I got everything else set up, but let's go.
So, you were minding your own business one day, and then Fat Joe dropped his album.
My man.
And on the song Lord Above.
Okay, like, how do I say this? Why is you simultaneously trying to be hard, but also fillet another person? Like, that shit don't make sense. Like, my man, yeah, I don't want to offend people because you hard. Nick Cannon, Drumline, the hardest working man there is. Let's continue.
You get mentioned.
Yeah.
I let her chop my balls off too before I lost to you, Nick. With some other stuff about Mariah.
He said he admitted that he was gonna whoop his ass. He admitted.
Again, the flip, trying to be hard. Like, oh yeah, alpha male. Like, dude, come on. You ain't hard, Nick. Like, and I keep mentioning the drum line because, like, my sister, who's like 12 years younger than me, actually had the tape drum line. I was like, oh, Nick Cannon. Dude, like, literally, you decide, like in the movie Drumline, spoiler alert if you haven't seen, what, a 20-year-old movie or some shit like that, he gets into a fight because somebody plays on his drum. But he hard, y'all. He hard. Got sleeves. And we're going to actually go to the sleeve shit a little bit later.
Did that. Almost got my ass kicked. Almost.
Oh, so he's talking about you kicking.
Who else was gonna kick his ass? I went looking for that motherfucker. We've had this conversation several times.
How close did you get?
I went to Detroit. He don't live in Detroit.
He doesn't live in Detroit?
Not. Now you don't live nowhere near 7 to 8 miles.
Look at him throwing shade. Like, nah, I went to Detroit, but he don't live in the hood. Like, he's never lived in the hood. Like, the fuck? Like, you for real throwing this much shade, dog? Where the fuck do you live? Do you live in a gated community? What about all those videos that you do with Kevin Hart? Your house don't, and even if it's a joke, it don't look like you pretending like you living in some kind of hood hard house. I'm sorry, it just don't. But let's continue.
He lives in Michigan.
In a mansion somewhere.
Yeah, which rightly so. You're supposed to come up.
Of course.
But, you know, and then I believe it was the BET Awards. And like I said, again, at the time, I was managed by Chris Lighty, so was musically at the time. So was Mariah. And we know Chris was managing 50. He was talking to Paul all the time. So there's a lot of conversation going on. And this is, again, this is a decade ago. Over a decade ago. And everybody knew how serious I was. Like I was there to defend my.
So it started off with some fucking musical beef. Now, here's the thing. Yes, we know the eternal shit talker 50 Cent, Mr. Curtis Jackson, I think that's what his name is. Curtis something. Started talking shit like, oh yeah, when M is done with Mariah, can I date her? Like shit like that. And Mariah took exception with that. Wow. A word I say every day for work. And basically, she dropped that song. Why you so upset with me? Obsessed with me. The fuck, I can't talk right now. Guess those lobster tails was actually pretty good. But it was like, dude, like you're trying to get into a lyrical battle with Eminem? And that's what triggered the whole shit. Like, come on now. Come on. You don't want to get into a lyrical battle with Eminem. Ja Rule learned that lesson. A lot of motherfuckers learned that lesson. Motherfuckers are learning that lesson now. Nick Cannon. And this was released on February 3rd after Eminem definitely called him out. Let's continue.
My wife. I ain't give a fuck about no lyrics. I ain't give a fuck about, like, you said some disrespectful shit about my wife, and I'm going to beat your ass. That was my mentality in 2009, 10, 8, whatever year that was.
So, when you think about it, you said some disrespectful shit. Now, okay, granted, people out on the street, and you know what? I can't even say that, dude, disrespectful shit, is that something to try to fight over? I don't know. Call me an asshole. Call me whatever. But I'm not going to fight over somebody who says some disrespectful shit. Just prove how much of a man I am. The fuck? Fuck you. You're probably jealous because I gotta and you don't. But no, that's not what Nick Cannon's problem was. Nick Cannon's problem was that M had her before he did. He had to prove how much of a man he is now. Where it was just like, dude, it's not that serious, dog. It really ain't. Like, you getting all upset and shit, like, oh, he talked bad about my wife. He said some shit. Where she clearly, obviously started this shit afterwards. But no, he said something bad. I gotta show how tough I am. Ooh, I'm a big man. I'm a big boy. Get out of here.
And so I was like, I'm trying to, what's happening? Like, I even at the time, crazy people don't know this, Emmanuel Stewart, you know, God rest his soul, one of the greatest boxing trainers ever, was working with M because I think M was supposed to do that boxing movie that Jake Gyllenhaal did. So he was training with with dude and Emmanuel. I was at a fight one time, and everybody know I box and all that stuff. So Emmanuel was like, "Yo, he ready for it." I was like, "Set it up, E. Set it, whatever. All money."
Oh my God, I can't hear you over all of your insecurities. I don't know. I just can't hear you over all those insecurities that you have with the fact that Eminem came at your wife. Pause. Lyrically, of course, and probably figuratively and literally. But let's continue.
He goes to charity. He was like, I was like, I do this. Like, that's all I wanted. Real talk, I was like, I want to match whatever energy he's on. I know I ain't going to out-rap the motherfucker, but I was like, yo, if you really got a problem with me and my wife, you talking that shit, you got to have, I feel like people can say whatever they want to say in life, but you got to be able to deal with the consequences that come with your mouth.
So, we know this is exactly why this shit started. He said it. I know I wasn't going to out-rap the motherfucker. That's all this is. I can't out-rap him, so let me throw these hands. Let him catch these motherfucking hands. That's all this is about. Eminem catching hands because Nick Cannon's feelings was hurt. That's what this is about. It's nothing else. It's not about nothing else but Eminem catching these hands because, unfortunately, Nick Cannon knows he can't out-rap him. That's all this is about. And the shit is funny. He just said, he's like, I know I wasn't going to out-rap him, so let me throw in the ring. I still don't think you can, like, yeah, I don't know. Something tells me that, motherfuckers, I mean, like, I'm not going to say it's going to be a slap boxing event, but, like, yeah, I don't think an elephant is concerned himself with a fly. But let's continue.
Well,
Simple as that.
to be fair, people at the level of Eminem, you, and even me for that matter, we all have security around us. No one's
You listen to this conversation.
gonna allow a fist fight. Someone's gonna get shot in the process. Like,
Nah, see, but that's like, cause I wasn't on that. I wasn't on some erratic fan shit. I'm on some, let's have a conversation. You disrespected, like I had this conversation with Howard Stern.
So, here's the thing. He said it. He's like, no, we wasn't going to get like, we was going to wolf. Let's have a conversation. And listen to this shit. This is insecurity on example. This is insecurity on example. Let's listen to this about Howard Stern conversation.
A very man-to-man conversation, because me and Howard Stern at first were rivals. I was on his radio station, 92.3 in New York. He was Howard Stern. He said some disrespectful shit about Mariah.
You were never a rival of the career, the length, the status of fucking Howard Stern. It doesn't work that way, dog. This is not some anime where you was just like, I'm going to beat the toughest guy up in school because he said some disrespectful shit. Howard Stern would have crushed you. Howard Stern was coming up with the formula to be a successful disc jockey, radio jockey, whatever commentary, while you was still spitting up formulas. Get the fuck out of here. And I don't even like Howard Stern.
And when he found out I was on the radio, he started going in. I was like, my dude, see me. Like, what?
And yet, this is the shit. So, here's the thing. We're going to watch the rest of this video. But I'm going to actually say this. When he's talking his good shit, he's talking his good shit. Talking about, oh, I'm going to beat him up because that's what I have. I don't have the intelligence. I don't have the wherewithal to actually sit back and fucking, make it where I'm using this. I'm being strategic. I'm using the shit to my advantage. No, he got that good shit. Got good shit. Let's whoop somebody's ass. Almost as if he's falling into a fucking stereotype. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't fucking get it, especially with the shit he's gonna say. That's why I suspect Mr. Nick Wildin' Out Cannon may not write all of his jokes for Wildin' Out. Because if you want that good shit, if you got years and years of Wildin' Out where you just clowning motherfuckers, where you just, as we used to call it, doing a dirty dozens, then you had no problem going lyrically with somebody like Eminem. But you don't. You're manufactured. But let's continue.
But we can have a conversation, and whatever that escalates to, there. But I'm an intelligent man. Let's first have this conversation. But know that if you disrespect anyone in my family in my face, it's happening. Like whatever, like it's going to turn physical. It's not even happening.
And exactly, like for real, dog. Do you understand the dripping? Like, what stereotype are you playing into, Nick? Mr. Cannon, if that is your real name. I don't fucking care. What stereotype is you playing into? Disrespect me and I'm gonna whoop your ass. That sounds like a stereotype. Let's continue.
To get that, because Howard Stern is a wise man. Sat down, dinner, me, Mariah, Howard. Sorry, I was immature. Moved on. I was expecting some of the same things with
Wait, Howard Stern apologized to you and Mariah in person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Citation, please. Fuck citation, please. Can we get that citation? I need to see that shit. Citation, please.
now Howard Stern is not only one of my closest friends or associates in the industry, but a mentor, someone I call when I need help. Because, and first of all, Howard Stern's in his 60s. Let's go there. But at that time, he was saying some wild, same level shit that Eminem was saying. And
Really now. It's almost as if people are kind of saying some of the same shit, and not to adjudicate this in a court of public opinion, but you got somebody that is known to talk shit, and people talk shit back. Oh, you talking shit back bad about, like, dude, get the fuck over it. People are gonna be mean on the internet, and you are not exempt from criticism. Neither is your wife. Fuck, neither am I. Nobody's exempt from criticism, Nick. Mr. Wildin' Out is talking about people being criticized. The fuck? The irony.
And I was like, and this is why, and this is the root of the problem, Brad. And this is where,
Thank you, Panda.
I'm all for the jokes, I'm all for the competition and the hip hop, but there's a mentality. It goes all the way back to the slave codes, when the slave codes were established.
You have no right to talk about slave codes and prejudice when you fucking live in a stereotype. You are literally supporting a stereotype. If I get mad at you, or you make me mad, and fucking, not only if you make me mad, if you make me mad and make me look bad, I'm gonna come at you because reasons. I'm gonna come at you because I can't outwit you. I'm going to, fuck it, I'm just gonna make it seem like I'm gonna use my physical prowess. I'm sorry, Nick Cannon has physical prowess. I'm sorry. He's gonna use his physical prowess to intimidate you because he's already had a man made out of him somehow, some way. I don't know.
That there was practices that the slave master, the oppressor, would rape a black woman and make her husband stand there and watch. And he couldn't do anything about it. If he did anything about it, he was dead. It was illegal. So I'm supposed to stand here in 2008, 2009, and let this white man disrespect my wife, a woman of color, whatever you want to believe her.
Dude, stop it. Stop it. You just sit back and and preach how if somebody disrespects you in your face, you're gonna get them because you're gonna but yet and still you're playing into a fucking stereotype. You are literally playing into a fucking stereotype, dog. That's what you're doing. You're literally saying that, hey, I'm going to use violence because I can't use my intelligence. The fuck is wrong with you? Mr. Wildin' Out. Mr. Roast people on the show for like a half an hour on MTV. Like, for real? And now you're going to pull it's racial injustice. If you're playing on the field, then you get hit. You're playing on the field. And, for the inciting incident, your wife was talking shit. But let's continue.
Color is, because that's a whole nother debate. She ain't even black. Her daddy blacker than me from Harlem. But we ain't gonna get into that.
The fuck? Okay. So, I will say this. There is, and at the time there was a perception that Mariah Carey didn't face the same oppression that some other more noticeably African American women actually face in the music industry. She didn't really. And yes, it's actually a different subject because I don't really like to deal with those identity politics, especially around that time. But it was, how do I put it? Mariah Carey did have R&B songs. She did, but she was more a pop artist. And from my recollection, and maybe this is wrong of me and maybe I'm just thinking about it a different way, it was more that she used that as an outreach versus a reflection of heritage, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not calling her out in any type of way that, you be you. I fucking don't care. But to go back and use this as, well, you're victimizing me because of reasons. Like, nah, dude, come on now. It was people talking shit, and somebody talked the best shit. Talking that good shit. But let's continue.
like, whatever you believe that's a woman of color. And I'm not supposed to do nothing. And then I got my entire community be like, man, let that shit go. Fuck out of here, let that go.
Yes, let that go. You are lyrically facing somebody who is your motherfucking superior. And I think the motherfucker will be mad. I think he was most mad because I'll say this. For someone not to share your quote unquote history, and that's the most charitable way. As far as what you identify with, to come out just being better at a skill that I guess you may feel that should be yours. Eminem whooped your ass lyrically. Like, I hate to say it like that, but he lyrically whooped your ass. And there's no way of getting around that. But let's continue.
Would you let that go if that was your wife? Would you let that go if that was the mother of your children? And this man is going to sit there and laugh at you in your face because he can rhyme some words together? I'm beating his ass.
And again, this goes back to his insecurity, dog. It's words. And we know words hurt. They literally hurt. Like, seriously. Like, there's no question. But it's not even the words that hurt his ass. It was the embarrassment that he couldn't do the shit as well as fucking Eminem. Which is ironic because shit was hilarious. The shit is hilarious. But shit. Let's continue.
Yes. Or he's gonna have to say, you know what? I didn't see it that way, Nick. You know what? I didn't think it goes all the way back. I see where you're coming from, man, because that not only did I hurt you, but I hurt an entire community based off of my anger, and therefore now I can project this and continue to see little boys and girls of color have to deal with this racial institutionalization that.
Okay, so check it out. I admit racism is real. I admit prejudice is real. I admit people have bigoted ideas. They hold, what the fuck is that called? My mind is blanking. They hold prejudice. But this isn't about a prejudice, man. This isn't. This is about two people that was talking shit and one got just a better shit talk. That's what this is about. You know this. I know this. One had a better shit talk. And now you're mad. And it's sad. It's really fucking sad because in the end, M won. And now you want to throw hands? You want to literally throw hands because he made your feelings hurt. Hot damn. For real. Going from 14 to 47 in 2 days didn't help with your maturity level, I see. But let's continue.
Oh, a white man can say whatever he wants to say when he's angry and there's no repercussions behind it. No, you're going to see some repercussions. It's going.
So we can say that about what was said about what Mariah said about him. Or what you said about him, matter of fact. Because you get to victimize somebody else lyrically. And I'm using victimize. But you get to say what you want about him. And yet and still, he's supposed to just, be cool with it. Like the same criticisms you're leveling against Eminem. And I'm not really taking the side of the fact. It's just the fact that your whole insecure ass man self is sitting back here and acting as if he is literally violating your wife in front of your eyes. When you admit that's not what it was. Two people got heated. Words were said. You couldn't compete. You cucked yourself. Let's just be honest. You cucked yourself because you got mad. And you actually didn't know how to deal with the consequences other than threatening violence. But let's continue.
What happened?
Well, he mentioned Mariah again on the Fat Joe song.
Yeah.
Once again.
Once a
I'm not
motherfucker
gonna read the
and
lyrics.
mental health. And he didn't get, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
He talked about it again, and he talked about something that you shouldn't make fun of, even though it's the shit that he talk about all the time and make fun of because he felt that he was having mental health issues, with all the drugs and abuse that he faced. He's victimizing himself as well as Mariah. Like, for real, dog. For fucking real. This is why, as Dave Chappelle said, we shouldn't have gave you money. Let's continue.
Yeah.
As strong as Mariah was to come out and say, y'all been dealing with issues and dealing with, and came out and spoke and now is an advocate for it. And he gonna call her a nut job and all that stuff, and you don't see the problem with it? We just gonna let that ride, huh?
She literally made a video where she dressed up like a personification, exaggerated personification of him, and said, "You're stalking me." You're gonna let that ride? Oh, she gets a pass not because she's a woman and woman of color. She gets a pass because she's my wife and I like her. Let's just say that shit. That's what happened. But let's continue.
We are mental health advocates now all of a sudden, but when Eminem's still talking shit from some shit that happened 2 decades ago, and he's Eminem. No, he's white. That's the problem with.
Wait, what? The motherfucker still makes songs talking about how he grew up in a shitty situation. But nah, he gets away with it because he's white. Like, literally, dog. You making this association gives motherfuckers the exact reason that they need to disrespect and downplay bigotry. Fucking, prejudices. Because you sit back and you cheapen the motherfucking word. You cheapen the fact that people fucking address, people have serious issues with race, serious issue with bigotry, serious issues where people are actively attacked because of their race, their gender, their expression of who they are. But you cheapen it over a fucking private matter. Just like those fucking woke skull motherfuckers who sit back and say, well, you can never talk bad about some particular group because reasons. They defend the shittiest behavior of people just because they feel like, well, I need to be the most woke. No, this was a shitty situation, and for you to actually throw in race or gender or some shit like that, seriously? You're trying to fucking get fucking points to say, ha, my side is right, versus just two people was talking shit. Did he ever mention anything that had to do with race? Now, if you want to knock the man for making fun of mental health, fuck, yes, I will give you that. Look, yeah, go ahead, have fun. Enjoy that shit. Plaster that shit up and down. But don't make it about this, because, to be honest with you, your insecurity is showing. Alright, so let's move on to the next.